Better Daily, where we work hard in our minds, bodies, and our spirits to become 1% better every single day. Download the app and join our Betterment family at betterdaily.live to catch the video version of these podcasts. Here's your host and my dad, Alex Van Houten.
What is up, Betterment family? This is Alex Van Houten in Better Daily Live. Happy Thursday. It is Word Thursday, and I'm so excited to bring to you the word manifest. Now, this is an especially special Thursday. Now, Thursdays are generally my favorite in our live shortcast here, both in our group, and then this usually gets published about 8 to 10 weeks after it's recorded. From a public perspective, you see it here in the Better Daily community, and then it goes out in public on the shortcast via wherever people listen to podcasts and stuff. But as of this moment, today, there is the crossing of a few different roads. First, it is the halfway point for the Faithful 40 Challenge. Those of you who've been going through the Faithful 40 Challenge know that we are 20 days in. Today is day 20, and you're halfway there. You are going from the grit phase to the growth phase, and if you've been sticking with it, this is where you can see the most growth. Now, if you haven't been sticking with it, or maybe you're new to the group and you're like, what's the Faithful 40 Challenge? I encourage you to participate anyway. Even if you don't have 20 days under your belt, you can still make awesome progress over the next 20 days. The other thing that's going on is that the Better Man Challenge, the pilot, it's a paid challenge, is launching today as well. I'm going to start shooting messages and whatnot to those of you who are in the group, and I am very excited about this challenge, and it has a lot to do with this word, manifest. Now, I think it goes without saying, this is for the men in the group. I hope to have something for the women specifically in the future. However, that's going to be a little hard for me to run, since I don't know much about being a great woman. So there's that. But that said, the Better Man Challenge is an awesome opportunity starting on February 16th. We have opened registrations up, and the actual challenge itself starts on February 16th, and it's 8 weeks through what I think is extremely powerful curriculum. We're going to be digging into the body, we're going to be digging into the mind, and digging into the spirit, and specifically getting into not just how to feed ourselves well, how to move well and make the most of ourselves, but also how to combine that with the mind. We're going to be talking about things like journaling and how to make that work for you and get your mind straight. We're also going to be doing some activities and whatnot around getting closer to God and improving our relationship with each other as brothers, but also our relationship with God, the transcendent, so that we can have the regular communication with that thing, that awesome thing that gives us direction and hope and grace and strength and courage and all of the awesome words that I hope that you've enjoyed diving into on Word Thursday. So today's word is manifest, and I want to tell you what it has to do with those things that I just presented. Manifest is a fun word. It actually has a Latin origin, manus festus. And from the Latin origin, it's come to mean, if you look it up in Webster's dictionary, it means to be revealed or to make palpable hidden potential. So I'm going to change that a little bit, and I'm going to argue today, and I hope it's something you can remember. It means to reveal the treasure within. That's what manifest means. That could also, it's an adjective, noun, and verb, and we're going to talk about each one of those things in a second. But I use this word a lot. I was actually listening to an interview that I did recently. I don't go back and listen to my interviews very often, but I do every once in a while listen to interviews because I might want to reach out to that person again and say, hey, remember that conversation we had? I'd love to continue that conversation. I think it was powerful, and I have a few things to add. So I was listening to an interview that I did recently, and I used the word manifest 11 times. And I mean, in an hour, that's a lot of times to use the same word. There's a lot of words. There's 20,000 words in the English language. I could have used any one of them, but manifest showed up 11 times. And I often use it without thinking when I say manifest your best. That's what I say. Now, I don't know if it's because they rhyme that it rolls off the tongue so easy or what, but I know why I'm using it. And the reason I'm using it is because oftentimes when I'm speaking to individuals, especially about health and fitness, what I'm trying to convey to them is that health and fitness isn't something that you attain. It's built right into you. It's built into who you are in your DNA as a human being. Like, God made you to be a better version of you than you probably are right now. And that potential's wrapped up inside of you. And there are things that we do that can make that thing happen more or make that thing happen less. And when I say manifest your best, I literally mean to make palpable, to reveal the treasure inside of you, the thing that's all tied up inside. And what's weird is people have a sense of this without me even saying it. Like, a lot of times I'll be in a consultation with somebody and they'll say, I just don't like who I see in the mirror. And, there are a bunch of different ways people say that. I don't like how I look naked. I think that, the guy in the mirror looking back at me could be doing something different with himself. The lady in the mirror looking back at me has been through a lot and isn't the same person she was before she had kids. Like, I've heard a lot of different variations of this. But what I hear when people say that is, I know that there's potential within me that you can't see yet. I know there's a disconnect between who I am at the moment and who I have been called to be, who I've been made to be, who I was meant to be. There's a disconnect between those two, and it's driving me absolutely insane. That's what people are saying to me. And when I say manifest your best, that's what I'm saying is recognize who you are. I'll say things like, you're made of sterner stuff than you know. Like, how can you not know what you're made of? I know it sounds dumb, but how can you not know what you're made of? Well, there are a lot of people who don't know what they're made of. Like, when was the last time you did something and you complete that thing? Maybe it was a race. Maybe it was a really cold shower. Maybe it was, I don't know, you completed something and you would say, I had no idea I could do that. When was the last time you did something like that? Maybe you hiked a really long way. Maybe heck, sometimes you get in a fight with a loved one or something and you say some things you had no idea you could say, right? But you say, I had no idea I could do that. And I have a relationship with many of the people in the group such that I know there's a lot of things that are going on in people's lives right now. And some of them are really difficult things. We have a person in our community right now who came to the prayer meeting and she was saying, I'm going through this really hard move. She's moving a company that has been in the same place for 30 years and she's moving it. And it's crazy. She's having to help her employees kind of process this thing. She's got to get the electricity in the next building to go where it's supposed to be. She's got to move all this really heavy equipment and stuff. And like, it's a lot. There's so many things up in the air, right? Oh, and by the way, everybody's job's depending on you to continue, doing what your business does without skipping a beat. So there's that, right? This is a very hard thing. And on the other side of this thing, she's going to say, I had no idea I could do that. I had no idea that I could move this entire company and that employees would benefit and this could all go. And now I do. And that's what I mean by revealing the treasure inside of yourself. There are things that you can do that you had no idea you could do. And it's there. And all that's required of you is to go test it out and to train it. And that is an interesting thing about the word manifest. It has the connotation of adventure, of revealing, okay? To reveal the treasure inside. It's not just like, oh, there it is. Isn't that cool? Now we can all run around and be happy about the treasure inside. It's saying, no, that thing is covered up. It's there, and it's going to take some work to uncover it, right? So the noun form of manifest is a ship in the list of all the things that are in the ship, right? So back in the 1400s, one of the major ways that things were moved around was via, a very large boat, like a galleon, right? So you got all this stuff in there. You got the treasure inside. You've got the spices and the linens and the beer and wine. You've got all this stuff they're coming from a far off place. It's like a treasure, right? And it's going where it needs to go. The manifest is the list of everything that exists inside of it, right? So all you see is the ship, kind of like you. All we see is you. We don't see everything wrapped up inside of it. We don't see the treasures that are carried by the ship, right? But the manifest is the big giant list of all the treasures that exist on the ship. You don't have a manifest. I guess the closest thing you have to a manifest is your DNA, but even then, there's more to you than even that, right? somewhere exists in God's hands a big giant list of everything that's wrapped up inside of you. That's a manifest, right? And when we're manifesting our best, when we are bringing those things to bear on the world around us and in our relationships and in our bodies, then things are good. It feels good to see, when you look in the mirror, no disconnect between the potential that exists within you and what's actually happening. And you've been there before. You've been there in a fitness journey. It's where you start seeing results. You feed yourself well, do cardiovascular exercise, lift some weights, and you see muscles grow, right? You start performing activities that you never thought you could do, and all of a sudden you're doing them, and you're like, wow, look at that guy. Look at that girl. Get after it, man. Awesome. And that's what manifest feels like. That's what manifest feels like. There's this story in the New Testament. Jesus tells it. It's one of his parables. It's a very, very strange parable. He says, the kingdom of heaven is like a man who finds a pearl of great value in a field. And so he goes and he sells everything he has, and he buries the pearl and buys the land that it's on. You're like, what? I don't know everything that Jesus meant by that story, but I do know one thing. The thing that sticks out to me about that story is the kingdom of heaven is not the pearl, and the kingdom of heaven is not the land. The kingdom of heaven is like a man who finds treasure and buys the land all around it. Why? The kingdom of heaven is the action of spending yourself, everything that matters to you, everything that you are, and saying, this matters so much that nothing else matters more than this. And every single time I get the opportunity to ask somebody about their life, and every single time I get the opportunity to see people move forward, to manifest their best, to start revealing the treasure inside of them, every time I see that happen, like I get a little sports tear, man, because that is what the heck I'm talking about, is the desire to see the treasure in the ship, the list of the treasure in the ship, and leave none of it on the table. There's something else about the word manifest that I enjoy also. Is I said at the beginning, it's the Latin word of manus plus festus. Manus plus festus. Manus means hand, and festus means party. How cool is that? The manifestation, the revealing of the treasure inside, has a joyful connotation. It reminds me of many of the stories that Jesus told, where at the end people are celebrating, right? The man finds his lost sheep and everybody celebrates with him. Yay, you found your lost sheep. I'm very excited about this word in particular, because I believe that that's what we do in the Faithful 40 Challenge. We take a community like ours and we use it to make manifest things we didn't know existed, by drilling in on our mindset, by drilling in on our nutrition and exercise, and bringing that to the fore in a community setting. And that is also what we're going to be doing through the Better Man Challenge. It'll be a lot more intensive. That's part of why it's a paid challenge, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. It's recognizing the potential within each other, and in a community setting, bringing that out to bear on the world. So that is the word manifest. I would love to hear from you. When was the last time that you did something that you didn't think you could do? And how did that happen? Did it just happen overnight? Or was it something you had to work at? I'd love to hear what that looks like for you guys. This has been Alex Van Houten in Better Daily Live for Word Thursday. Thank you so much for joining me. And tomorrow we're going to be on Flex Friday. It's going to be a special Flex Friday because I have some catching up to do, and I'm going to record 2 of them. We're going to be doing some push-up variations. So I'm super stoked about that. Some advanced push-up variations. And we're also going to be going through another TRX movement. So until then, it's just 1%. You got this.
Thank you for joining us for 1% Better today. Don't forget to subscribe for the podcast. Leave us a raving review to tell others how Better Daily has helped you in your journey. If you want more Better Daily, download our app and join our Betterment family at betterdaily.live. Use code POD to get 25% off your subscription. That's POD, all caps, to save 25% on your subscription. We all have a cross to carry. It's lighter when we do it together. Go to betterdaily.live today.